At a time of unparalleled crisis born out of anthropogenic climate change, perhaps the best thing you can do is, like, I don't know, relegate FEMA to Mr. Beast. Mm, 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 mm. All right, let's get started on Mr. Trump, okay? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. He is attending Hurricane Helene recovery briefings in Fletcher, North Carolina.
People, pretty much okay. It's a lot of people. 104 people lost their lives. 73,000 homes were severely damaged or destroyed. And I'll tell you, I've been to a lot of them, and this was like lots of hurricanes in one. I've never seen such damage done by water. And the water came.
It was the wettest from the standpoint of water.
It was violent, and it left, and there was like nothing left. It's really pretty amazing. At one point, half of the emergency calls to FEMA went unanswered. That's real bad. FEMA was not doing their job. The city of Asheville went without running water for 2 months. A whistleblower testified that some FEMA employees refused to help people who displayed Trump signs on their property. I think that's true.
You want to know what's really funny about this? Like, this did happen, but like, there is something kind of wild that although there were some insane FEMA people that were like, yeah, these Trump supporters or whatever. No. I think that there was like one guy. I mean, it happens, dude. What do you mean? Like, FEMA is just like every other agency comprised of normal human beings. Sometimes there's going to be a person who's an asshole, okay? And they were fired, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that not only was it a thing that happened, it was funny because every single person that was a Trump supporter leading up to that moment was literally like, we should kill the FEMA workers. Like before there was like some random, Biden head, dark woke, as they're calling it, guy who literally decided like, yeah, I'm with FEMA and I don't want to help Trump supporters. They already were like, if FEMA comes down the neighborhood, let's kill them. That is a lie, but keep going. Y'all mauled every day about this. First of all, your life has to be incredibly sad, even though your God, King, Lord, and Savior, Mr. Donald Trump, actually became president, and you still suck dick. Like, your life still sucks so much dick and balls every single day, where you're like, okay, nothing changed. Egg prices have not gone down. Okay. As a matter of fact, they've gone up. Why am I so upset right now? Let me go tune in to a content creator who I despise. Okay. Let me go tune into a content creator who I despise so I can actually at least feel a little bit better about myself. And if he calls me out, I'm going to feel embarrassed about that. So I'm going to turn around and say, I didn't vote for Trump, actually. So you're just what? You're just LARPing as a Trump fan? Is that what it is? You're just LARPing as a Trump fan, like as a Trump fan whose life is actually in tatters, and that's why he had to come in here and be like, keep coping, libtard. I think there is a low to the low. You said who everyone who likes wanted to kill them. Okay, bro, I can't have a conversation with no. We're done. Autism is now no longer allowed. I'm ableist. I'm the only one who's allowed to be autistic, okay? You are not allowed to be autistic in the chat. If you have no capacity to understand context or jokes or embellishment, okay? Exaggerations. Like, no, I don't think every single Republican wanted to, with arms, kill FEMA people, okay? When I explain things like that, I'm not being 100% accurate because I'm joking, okay? I'm sorry, you are too autistic to chat in the chat if you don't understand something as simple as that, okay? You're banned. Autism is now banned in the chat. That's it. Only I get to be autistic, not you. I said, where's your tone indicator, dude? Excuse me. I don't think every Republican was out with weapons trying to kill FEMA officers. Okay. Yeah, no, I know. That's not the truth. Why are you yelling so softly? It's 5 a.m. I'm in a hotel. I can't yell loudly. People are sleeping. Twitch streamer cures autism with one statement. I can't believe that literally said, I don't think it's true that every Republican wanted to kill FEMA people. Yeah, no shit, dumbass. It's not BDS if it's in a glass. This coffee, old coffee from yesterday. This is what I mean. Okay, you're banned too. No more. Dude. I think you should write this multiple times more. Former co is planning to drop a 2-hour takedown on you and uploading onto all channel. This is unhinged. Dude, I didn't get the message. What is happening? Can you explain to me one more time what's going on? 4 co-hosts thinks you want his house to burn down via his Insta story. The delusion. This guy just every now and then is like Project Zomboid, and then is just like updating me, I guess, on what my former podcast co-host is doing. Foot soldiers, let it go, please. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's all right. I'm trying to live my life, man. I'm trying to live my life. I'm in Japan. I don't give a shit. Anyway, and y'all thought Megaphonics spam? Megaphonics, you just used your own. You can't try to start a spam chain to be like, and y'all thought Megaphonics spammed? Your name is right there. Everybody knows you're trying to. Why are you speaking about yourself in third person? What the hell's going on? Anyway, where the frick was I? I totally forgot what we were talking about. Oh, yeah. What's funny about the situation is so many right-wing Republicans got duped by conspiracy theories online, okay, in order to be as hyper-specific as possible. There were a lot of conspiracy theories in the aftermath of this disaster in North Carolina. Those conspiracy theories were completely ridiculous. They were made up, right? Obviously. Conspiracy theories such as like FEMA's going to come and actually buy your house out, okay? Like don't take any disaster relief funds from FEMA because they want to buy your house, or that, there was obviously like, FEMA weather machine is the reason why these natural disasters took place. And also that they were not allowing the real patriotic citizens from like, I don't know, Patriot Pair or whatever to distribute goods to the disaster sites. FEMA was not allowing them to do that because they just had some like, really crazy, secretive and possibly anti-conservative perspectives. And that's why they were doing that. So like there was a lot of antagonism against FEMA on the ground from a lot of Republicans. And then there literally was a freaking FEMA guy who was like, yeah, these Republicans. Yeah, like, I'm sorry. That's pretty funny, okay? That is pretty hilarious that on the one hand, you got people on the ground who are like, FEMA wants to kill us. Don't come near my house. You're going to bomb my house. I'll kill you. And then there's a FEMA guy who literally is like, we should just not help Republicans. It's completely unacceptable. Okay. Just make no mistake. It is completely and utterly unacceptable. Okay. Your job is disaster relief. There is no politics in that circumstance. So like this libbed up dark Brandon head going, I'm just not going to help people if they're Trump supporters is insane. But still pretty funny. It's a funny situation because Trump supporters hate FEMA and right wingers hate FEMA and talk about how FEMA is going to come to like steal their houses and kill them. Yeah. Dark woke as they're calling it on Twitter.
And I read that. It's not nice. That's not too nice, is it? But whoever those property people were, thank you very much. Michael, is that true? That's not good, huh? About the
That's not good, huh?
Property owners, you put a Trump sign on and they wouldn't help. FEMA. Earlier this year, FEMA kicked 2,000 North Carolinians out of their temporary housing into below freezing temperatures. What was that all about?
What is this, bro? Just wait till that nuke drops. Finally, the world will know you indeed never my mom or other chatters' moms or my dad, of whom you also claimed got drilled by you. I have testimonies from hundreds of chatters, mothers, and fathers at this point. Good luck, chump. Please don't ban. I worked hard on my wording, and it caused this chat to be irrelevant. What? The water came, and it did what it does, which is terrible. I love water. I drink water almost every day, in fact. Too much, my doctors say. But I know what's best, and water is good. But this water was very bad. Probably the worst water in the history of the world. That's really good. That's fire. A lot of people are saying this water came because North Carolina wanted to turn blue. And God wanted to punish North Carolina. Trump impressions are so back. I know. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't, because my Trump impression is never that good. But it's hard. It's hard for me not to do it because he just has such an awesome. He's so swagged out, dude. Barack Obama is dating Jennifer Aniston. Check Instagram, New York Post. Dude, I've heard these conspiracies before. It's fantastic. Yes. For those of you who don't know, Barack Obama, when he's not getting his shit sucked sideways by Larry the Hoover, in Gary, Indiana, specifically after doing methamphetamine that he secured for Larold. Yeah, he's piping up. He's piping down. He's busting down Tatiana style, having kinetic sexual activities with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Yeah, the Duluth Dyson sucks his shit sideways, and he's like, I love doing crack cocaine and getting my penis sucked by a man with no teeth, but I still need pussy too. Yeah. And then he goes and then he's like, Jennifer, I loved you in Friends. It's in my top 5 all the time. You know, it's Jennifer Aniston from Horrible Bosses. I get it. My flimsy theory is that Obama and Aniston are no smokers, and one of them bummed one, and then yeah, except these are human beings. And also there's a lot of people who smoke cigs, man. Like, that's crazy to assume that, like, oh, they're both smokers, so they must have had sex after smoking cigarettes next to one another one time. Is such a funny conspiracy theory. I don't know how to, like, I just don't know what to say about that. I don't know how that works.
You know about that? What happened? Tell me.
We had an incompetent administration under Biden, and we had a disaster, and then we call it the disaster after the disaster. That was the FEMA response.
You had nothing but disaster since then. It doesn't matter at this point. Biden did a bad job. Some residents still don't have hot water, drinking water, or anything else, and many of them don't have quarters. They don't have anything. They got a stipend for what they lost, and we're going to take care of it. This is totally unacceptable, and I'll be taking strong action to get North Carolina the support that you need to quickly recover and rebuild. We're working on it very hard, and I think if Michael Whatley does half as good a job for North Carolina as he did for my campaign, we'll be very happy. Him and Laura were a very powerful team. So you think you can handle it, Michael? I don't know. I'm not sure, Michael. I think this is maybe in many ways easier, okay? Maybe easier. But you're going to lead the team. Do you want to say who the congressmen are that you want to appoint? Do you want to introduce them?
We have Virginia Fox and Chuck Edwards and Tim Moore, whose districts encompass the area.
And they are the districts that were most severely impacted, right? You were affected then, Virginia?
Yes, lost my own driveway.
Really? No. I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have
That's crazy.
problem like this, I think you want to go and...
He wants to privatize disaster relief. That's amazing, dude. Dude, America is in the cool zone, baby. Excellent. Excellent. I'm always thinking, how can we make this shit worse? And that look at a time of unparalleled crisis, born out of anthropogenic climate change, perhaps the best thing you can do is, like, I don't know, relegate FEMA to Mr. Beast. Okay? I don't even know how much worse you could get. Like, this is awesome, you know? That's right. We're giving it to Beastables. Going forward, if you want disaster recovery, you need Mr. Beast to come to your town and shoot the YouTube videos. He loves it. Barron tells me all the time. Barron knows so much about social media. You know, Barron is the reason why I went on TikTok. Barron loves Mr. Beast. He's doing FEMA. That's right. If you want disaster relief, you need to jump through some hoops. It's okay. It's good. It's good content. It's television. Mr. Beast is saving television. He's made $500 million per episode for Amazon. You know I hate Jeff Bezos. I don't like Amazon, but I love Jimmy Donaldson. He's going to be the government now. Folks, only the survivors get to deserve the FEMA credits. Yeah. Jimmy Beast. I just tried to rate at elementary school. Nice, dude. Nice. Real cool. Every day we stray further and further away from God, okay? Notice how only the bad parts of the government, the violent enforcement mechanism, stays in the hands of the government, and it only is the only adequately funded aspect of the government, and yet none of the things that the government is supposed to do in terms of taking care of the average citizens, like, for example, FEMA, all of that stuff is constantly in a state of underfunding and also routinely threatened by private interests, by privatization initiatives like the ones that Donald Trump is pushing for right here. Just something to consider. I don't know why the only stuff that the government is supposed to do are just like, violent enforcements of white nativist sentiment and never like disaster relief, right? Cool.
Whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA, and then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area, they've never been to the area, and they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away. And we pay directly, we pay a percentage to the state. But the state should fix this. If the state did this.
That's crazy, man. Bro what's the equivalent here? You know what I mean? It's like saying, what's the issue with war? The vest, the Kevlar vest. We just gotta take these Kevlar vests off, You need cotton. Cotton does the job. You don't need anything to stop bullets, okay? Does Kevlar even stop the bullets anyway? Don't use it. No more ceramic plates. Just cotton. Just use cotton. Plus, if you start bleeding, you can just put the cotton on the bullet wound. It'll be fine. What is happening right now? He's at a disaster relief site, man. You are doing a press briefing after a hurricane that hit an area that it was not supposed to at all. Okay, what the hell is going on? Sometimes I really do believe that, Republicans just do bad things on purpose. Sometimes I do unironically feel like Trump will just advocate for a thing because he knows it's bad. Like, he's just like, I know this is going to not be a good thing for people. I know this is going to be harmful for big swaths of the population, and that's why I'm advocating for it. I don't even get any material benefit out of it. You know what I mean? Like the FEMA privatization one is like obviously old school. Republicans love stuff like that. They've always vilified FEMA. Alex Jones used to talk about how FEMA black sites. Barack Obama smells like sulfur. He put me in a FEMA black site facility and had butt sex with me. AlexJones.com, Infowars.com. He used to always say stuff like that. He's Mr. FEMA camp, right? Conservatives have basically always assumed that FEMA has too much power, like libertarian conspiracy theorists, and have always talked about how there's FEMA facilities being set up. There's a FEMA black site that was set up camp right down the street from me. There's black helicopters, attack helicopters in the neighborhood. I'm AlexJones.com, Infowars.com, coming to you right now from a FEMA camp. I've infiltrated a FEMA death camp. Barack Obama's here. He smells like sulfur. He's trying to do butt stuff to me. Man.
In the beginning, it would have been a lot better situation. I think you guys agree with that, right? So I just want to say that Asheville, I know it well. It's a great place, and we're going to have it be a great place again. That was the one that was most severely affected. But North Carolina is going to come back bigger, better, stronger than ever before. And you're going to be very thankful. And you've already seen, I know that it really began 4 days ago, but you've already seen more action than you have in the last 3 months. And we're going to get it together. We're informing the Army Corps of Engineers to get going. because you have a lot of river breaks and a lot of areas that you're going to need some pretty big work. And they're on their way. They're going to be working much harder than they've been working in the past, and we're going to take care of it. Any questions from the press of any of the...
No, there's going to be questions, all right. Once again, when stuff like this happens, I just look out. I just turn around and I look back, and I remember that I'm in Tokyo, and it makes me feel good for a brief moment, you know? While everything seems awful, while the world seems horrifying, and, Donald Trump is talking about cutting FEMA at the site of a, massively consequential hurricane relief effort. At least I'm in Tokyo,
Congressman, governor, anybody?
Sir, are you going to sign an executive order on FEMA, getting rid of it? Can you say more about signing an executive order to get rid of FEMA, please?
FEMA has been a very big disappointment. They cost a tremendous amount of money. It's very bureaucratic, and it's very slow. Other than that, we're very happy with them. Okay, and I think when there's a problem with the state, I think that problem should be taken care of by the state. That's what we have states for. They take care of problems. And a governor can handle something very quickly. One of the things I've noticed, because I've been doing this for a while, and we had a pretty good FEMA, but I also noticed that when they come, they end up in arguments. They're fighting all the time over who does what. It's just not a good system. This system is so beautifully designed over 250 years approximately, and we'll soon be celebrating the 250th year. It's going to be a very big celebration. But it's been designed very well, and we're going to leave it that way. When North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, when everybody knows the governor of Tennessee, I think, everybody? Do you know everybody here, pretty much? I never thought of it, but you're right over the ridge.
Right over the
So you're here to help. That's great.
The people in this region, including Tennessee, the people of Appalachia, are grateful that you are here and that you haven't forgotten them. And that there are other disasters, but this one was enormous for both North Carolina and Tennessee. So thank you.
I've seen a lot of disasters. When I came here right after.
He's seen all the disasters.
And when I came here, I couldn't believe it, actually. I couldn't believe the damage. And I've seen a lot of them. This was more like a tornado than it was what we witnessed. So we're going to get it very much taken care of. Good job. That's nice that you came. And so you call it you're right over the ridge, right, Tennessee?
Over the ridge, yes.
I like Tennessee, too. Let's see, where did I get more votes, Tennessee or North Carolina? I hate to tell you, North Carolina, it was Tennessee.
There's one of the counties in this disaster that had 88% for you. So
88%, yeah. No, it's the people are just incredible people.
yeah.
So, do you have any questions, press?
President, you talked about conditions being placed on aid to California, voter ID and the like. Are there any conditions that you're going to put on aid to North Carolina?
We're going to do a lot for North Carolina. They've been very slow. I don't know why it's been so bad. This has been one of the worst I've seen. Katrina, of course, was something that obviously that was a long time ago. That was not good. But this has been very slow. I don't know if that was for political reasons because they lost the state. Biden lost the state. Maybe he felt he doesn't care. Maybe there were other reasons. I don't know. But this has been very slow. By any standard, this has been very slow. And we're gonna make up for lost time.
No conditions you're going to push for aid.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water. If they released the water, they wouldn't have had a problem. If they released the water when I told them to, because I told them to do it 7 years ago, if they would have done it, you wouldn't have had the problem that you had. You might not have even had a fire. So, but here I don't have that. It's a different thing. You got hit by a storm. The people are incredible. They worked really well. Franklin was fantastic, and other groups. By the way, other groups came in that were also fantastic. And other states came in, Tennessee and a couple of others came in, and they really helped. That's the way it's supposed to be. No, this is a different kind of a thing.
Mr. President, have you decided how much funding you would allocate for disaster relief?
Well, About what?
Have you decided how much funding you would allocate?
There's no way he can just whip around disaster relief funds, right? Dude, I think at the end of the day, usually they won't. Like, I mean, usually they will give like all the funds necessary, but I'm going to keep it very real with you. He can do whatever he wants. No, like, what are you going to do about it is kind of the attitude here. Like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Complain? Yeah. Donald Trump is like, who's going to stop him? Are you going to stop him? He's kind of the king. Yeah. Like, Congress does his bidding. Even Democrats are capitulating now. They're falling in line. Like, I can't really foresee anything changing all that dramatically. My suspicion is that he plays this role of like politicizing disaster relief, but it's actually positive for the Republicans because their goal is to ultimately play politics with disaster relief to get like certain bills done, certain bills passed that they normally wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Why didn't Biden give enough disaster relief? That's not true. There wasn't like, I don't think, as far as I understand, I don't think there was any sort of limitation on disaster relief from Biden. That would be really funny though. No, I don't think the Democrats, look, I'm very critical of the Democrats, but I don't think they even remotely play that. Like, they don't play that game at all. I would say that Republicans also end up giving the necessary funds. At least they have in the past, even under the Trump administration, where they've like talked about potentially tying like wildfire relief funds to something else. They end up doing it regardless. If I remember correctly, I think they did a clean bill last time after complaining and claiming that they were not going to. They still ended up doing it because, like, you know, these are still American citizens, man, at the end of the day. But I think this time around, maybe they'll use it to pass some, like, I don't know, some kind of like budget reconciliation, you know?
I have to see what it is.
Are you disappointed that Senator Schiff hasn't joined you on this trip? It's reported you invited Senator Schiff to join you on this trip and he was too busy. Are you disappointed?
I don't know. I was told that Schiff was going to travel with us to California. I wasn't thrilled, to be honest with you. And I saw him last night on television. It looks like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. What happened to him? Something happened to him. It looked like he got hit. It looked like he got beat around. But I'll ask Caroline to find out what happened. No, if he wanted to come out, I would have done that. But I don't know. Somebody said that he wanted to come on the plane, but I think he's staying back for the votes. There's some pretty good.
The one thing I'll say about Republicans is they talk a big talk about making the federal government teeny tiny and handing power back to the states, but they made almost no actually lasting progress to that end for a while. I think you have to remember that like some semblance of federal control is good, especially because that's where all the big contracts are and that's where the big money is. So ultimately, I think that they still want to have some semblance of centralization so that they can end up offering massive contracts to their corporate benefactors. I think like the argument about like giving power back to the states is for social issues, and it's only to like enforce the culture war agenda that like some Republicans care about. Oh, the background looks so cool. Tokyo sky's waking up now. Yeah, no, this is my favorite thing to do. Like, you know, I think this is one of the coolest aspects of streaming in Japan is that I get to have the entire Tokyo city line behind me, and then you get to see it wake up in real time. You know what I mean? From 5 a.m. onward. It's kind of crazy. I woke up at 4. I could have just started at 11 a.m., which is wild. I'm gonna be real. Anything looks better than the same spot 7 days a week. You're rich enough to do this in New York every day. Why would I wake up at 6 a.m. in New York? Also, what is me being rich enough have to do with anything? I'm rich enough to do this in Tokyo too. I'm literally doing it. I don't get it. I don't understand why people always say this. This is the only community on the planet where this is like not only a pejorative, but like you know, it's the worst thing to be. You are so much chiller in Japan. I know, because it's awesome. Did you sleep at all? I did. I went to bed. I went to bed at like a relatively reasonable hour. I fell asleep on the cab home, and I I immediately passed out and I woke up at 4 a.m. like that without an alarm clock or anything. You're rich enough to do this in Tulsa, Oklahoma? I am the real Tulsa king. It was really smart of you to move to Japan. Glad you got out. That's so funny. Yeah, I just live in a hotel now. Like Kanye West.
Going on, yeah.
Mr. President, what is your timeline for getting rid of FEMA?
I would for this one.
You just talked about possibly getting rid of FEMA. What timeline are you looking at, and how would you do that?
Well, we're looking here. Here, you're talking about to start. We're going to start immediately. Timeline, and to finish, it's going to be a period of time. You know, people are also rebuilding their houses. How long does it take to build a house? Right, it takes some time, and I want them to build houses bigger, better, nicer than they had before, so they can have, at least they get something out of this disaster. This was a real disaster. No, timeline will be fast. In terms of infrastructure, I think very fast. I want to thank Elon because Elon was able to get us communication systems, as you know. Starlink.
Glaze.
We had no communication.
Glaze. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. You ask me all the time, Hasan, what do you think is the next step here? Okay, Hasan, what do you think the Democratic Party could do in this circumstance? Okay, if I am a competent Democratic Party and not the current Democratic Party, I'm saying like all of a sudden, let's say magically that the Democratic Party decided to be competent every single day of the week, I would keep running the line over and over again that the Democrats are officially the anti-billionaire party going forward. Not fake though, like actually sincerely become the anti-billionaire party, the anti-corporate oligarchy party. And every day of the week, you would just go, hey, isn't it weird how average Americans' interests are only served not when it actually pertains to their material realities, like the egg prices or rent or housing or any number of different things that they would actually want solved, but only when it comes to hating other Americans? Meanwhile, Donald Trump only seems to hear feedback and surround himself with the likes of literally liberal billionaires, like libtarded billionaires. You know what I mean? Like Sam Altman, the Oracle guy who looks like his skin is melting off his face. I keep forgetting his name. I don't know why it doesn't register in my mind. Larry Ellison, I think, right? Peter Thiel, Elon Musk. Isn't it strange how much control and power corporate oligarchs have over this country? Now, of course, you can turn around and say, well, you guys have your own version of that too. Like, I think that that's a valid statement. And the Democrats can say, we're not doing that anymore. Softabanku? Oh, yeah. Masayoshi-san. I mean, he's great because I'm a weeb. So SoftBank's billionaire CEO says he was put on Earth to create artificial superintelligence that is 10,000 times smarter than a human. I am super serious about it. Yeah, I'm a weeb, so I believe him.
The first day I got here, I was asked by one of the people, one of the really great representatives.
Well, where would the money come from, smart guy? I don't know if you know this, but like money can't vote. Still people that are supposed to vote in at least the current Democratic administration. He's actually Korean. Wait, really?
Professionals that...
Isn't Masayoshi a Japanese name? Wait, am I being racist? Oh, he is Korean. Oh, well, I wasn't wrong. He's no, I was right, chat. No, I was right. He is Korean, but he's also, he's Japanese. He's a Zainichi Korean. Yeah. God damn. Don't ever test my freaking weeb knowledge, dog. Don't do it, okay? He's Korean Japanese. Yeah. As a Korean, I've never heard that Korean name. No, Masayoshi is not a Korean name. It's a Japanese name. But Sun is not I don't think Sun is a Japanese last name. So, yeah, say Sung Jung Yi is definitely Korean. Yeah. Busted out the Japanese calipers, dude. I'm just doing a little bit of skull science here. No, I just know which names are which. My bad, dude. No need to check the history on this guy's family. It's all G. We in Japan. No need to ruin it. Masayoshi-san was born as the second of 4 sons in Tosu. in the eastern part of Saga Prefecture on the island of Kyushu in Japan. He's a third-generation Zainichi Korean. Zainichi Koreans are ethnic Koreans with a permanent residency or citizenship in Japan. Son's grandfather, Song Jong-kyung, moved from Daegu to Japan during the Japanese colonial period, where he worked as a miner. His father is Son Sam-hyun. His father and other Koreans illegally built their houses on the land that was owned by Japan National Railways, which caused them trouble with the authorities. His father raised pigs and chickens on that land and started an illegal sake business that eventually became successful enough for his family to become the first people to own a car in their town. His family eventually moved out of the neighborhood so his son could attend a better school. Son pursued his interest in business by securing a meeting with Japan McDonald's president Den Fujita. Taking his advice, Son began studying English and computer science. He went to the U.S., studied economics at Berkeley and computer science. At age 19, he became confident that computer technology would ignite the next commercial revolution by being impressed by a microchip featured in a magazine. Started a video game company called Unison World in Oakland, California. He later sold the company to an associate for close to $2 million, and the company was eventually acquired by Kyocera. Son used his family's adopted Japanese surname for much of his childhood. However, after he returned to Japan, Son decided to use his family's original Korean surname instead. Okay, his background doesn't seem that, like, I think this guy made really solid and really sound investments. Like, he got fairly lucky early on and was in the right place at the right time. And, you know, unironically, it doesn't seem like he was one of the, it doesn't seem like he was the type of dude who was like one of these like rich families or whatever that was a Japanese collaborator or something in the colonial times and then like fled to Japan, but then still ended up working and having an awesome amount of power inside of Korean politics or anything like that. He just was like a straight up black market, good old fashioned bootlegger. Respect his family at least. Yeah. I was expecting WeWork. Oh yeah, he lost a huge sum on it. Yeah, of course. I mean, these guys, yes. But once they have that much money, it doesn't matter. Yes, they can make bad investments as well and not really face a severe financial penalty. Or even if the financial penalty would be severe for the average person, it's not severe for them. He sold 5% of Nvidia in 2019 right after investing in WeWork. Yeah, but again, they fail upwards is my point. Like, it doesn't matter.
Is there any way you could get Starlink here, because they had no communication whatsoever. And I called up Elon Musk, and he had, you know, hundreds of units brought here, like brought immediately. And it's hard to get. They couldn't get them before. And that made a lot of difference. I think it saved a lot of lives, actually. Yeah. Infrastructure-wise, we'll do it quickly.
Sir, can you just talk about how long you think it might take to get rid of FEMA? What's the timeline on that? If you're going to roll it back?
Yeah, I would say, look, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not really thinking about FEMA right now here. I'm thinking about Michael Watley, and I'm thinking about the 3 Congress people that you just heard from, and also the other people in Congress, and they'll be working with the governor. They'll be working with the governor, so that's what I see.
Change the subject real quickly. The Laken Riley Act was signed by Mike Speaker Johnson yesterday.
Right.
When do you anticipate to sign that in
Well, we're honored by that. Laken Riley, I was there at the time, and we had a big meeting with the parents right after that horrible thing took place. And we have an act. You all know what that act represents. And it was a bipartisan bill. Many Democrats signed onto it. That's something that is a tribute to Laken, a beautiful young lady who was killed viciously by an illegal alien. And we passed a very powerful bill, and it was just approved, and we'll have a ceremony sometime very shortly. I'll be signing it. In other words, if you're asking, I will definitely be signing it. Okay? Yeah.
Mr. President, the security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment on that.
About what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, you know.
This is so funny. Like, this type of stuff is so insane to me. I just don't, like, I don't, it's just, like, who is this for? Just red meat for the base. That's all this is. You know what I mean? Red meat for the base, baby.
You know, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you know, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you know, you work for government. We took some off other people, too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government.
Just for taken off, sir?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something would happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Now, North Carolina is a state that relies on trade and manufacturing. Are you going to have an announcement on new tariffs coming soon? Is there a timeline now?
Yeah, the tariffs are going to make our country rich. We're going to be a rich, rich country very soon. Tariffs are going to make it rich, and competence. We have common sense, competence, and tariffs. The word tariff is one of the most beautiful words in the dictionary.
Now, Jonathan Reynolds, the business secretary of the United Kingdom, said that there's an even trade between the U.S. and the U.K., so they shouldn't have tariffs. Does trade imbalances or a balanced trade affect tariffs and your decisions?
Yeah, unbalanced and balance, and also deficits. Like with Canada, we lose $200 billion a year with Canada. That's because we allow them.
I love the beautiful word tariffs. Is the most beautiful word. It's so stupid. God damn, dude. I cannot. We got what, 6 days until 25% locked in for Canada and Mexico. And the reasoning is because of what? Drug deals? The reasoning is because Canada and Mexico is pouring fentanyl into this country. That's what he's saying. It's crazy. Have you had room service yet? I haven't eaten anything from room service, but I just ordered room service. I just ordered coffee from room service. Little Americano action.
To make cars, we allow them to take lumber. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their food products because we make this.
We don't need their lumber is so crazy. It's like the overwhelming majority of lumber that we use come from Canada. We definitely do need their lumber. I don't know why he's saying that we don't need their lumber. We especially need it right now because California needs to be rebuilt. So, the two things we need is hands for construction and lumber, okay? The materials for construction and the people to do the construction. And Donald Trump is literally trying to cook both of those things. It's going to be wild.
Same products right on the other side of the border. It's sort of crazy. So we've just allowed that, bad management has allowed it over the last 4 years in particular to become very imbalanced. And I call him Governor Trudeau, but he's Prime Minister Trudeau when he was Prime Minister. I asked him, why would we do that? Why? And he was unable to give me an answer. He said, I don't know. And I said, do you think it's fair that we're paying $200 billion to keep...
A chatter asks, can you say some things that you agree with the Donald? Yes. I agree with the fact that he recognized that TikTok was a powerful enough and popular enough tool for him to give it a stay of execution. I gave him credit for that. I also agree with the ceasefire. Like he was incredibly impactful in the ceasefire negotiation finally going through. That's true. Like that's 100% true. Okay. You can say the Joe Biden team went back and forth on the ceasefire conditions and negotiation or whatever, but ultimately it was literally Hamas is the ceasefire negotiation that Hamas had lined since December, according to the Qatari Emir. Okay? Since December of last year. Not this last December. Sorry. 2023. December 2023. So for a year and change, the Biden administration did not push Israel to actually follow through on the ceasefire. Conditions set forth on the ceasefire by pressuring Israel. He just didn't do that. But Trump, for one reason or another, did. He applied that pressure through Steve Witkoff. Ceasefire, they kidnapped 60 Palestinians directly after, and they're still killing civilians. They're also unserious. Yeah, but you have to look at it from the perspective of like the Palestinian population not being bombed every single day in Gaza, because that was their experience. Also got to give him credit for deporting criminals. No, that one is actually kind of ridiculous, as I've talked about already. I'm a little bit confused on the details of like what the background is for the people that are being arrested for show for the most part by ICE right now, especially considering that like if you are a criminal undocumented, like you should go to jail. Do you think he'll lose in lose in 2026? What is happening? Like the midterms? You think that Donald Trump there's gonna be a special election for the presidency during the midterms? Like what's happening?
Canada going, and what would happen? I asked him, what would happen if we didn't do that, if we didn't subsidize Canada? He said, we'd be a failed nation. And I said, then you should be a state, because why are we paying all of that money to Canada when, you know, we could use it ourselves, right? So we take care of their military. You know, we're going to order about 40 Coast Guard big icebreakers, big ones. And all of a sudden, Canada wants a piece of the deal. They say, why are we doing that? I mean, I like doing that if they're a state, but I don't like doing that if they're a nation. Also, they've been very nasty to us on trade.
I don't like doing that if they're
been very, very bad.
I don't like doing that if they're a nation.
We'll see how it all works out.
The United Kingdom
I
might
would
be
love
the
to
best
see
spot.
Canada be the 51st state. The Canadian citizens, if that happened, would get a very big tax cut, tremendous tax cut, because they're very highly taxed. And you wouldn't have to worry about military. You wouldn't have to worry about many of the things. You'd have better health coverage. You'd have much better health coverage. So I think the people of Canada would like it, you know, if it's explained. But just to start off, they'd have a massive tax cut, and they'd have a lot more business, because then we'd let business go to Canada routinely, and there'd be no tariffs. You know, if we did that, there'd be no tariffs.
So the United Kingdom might be in a better spot then.
Reverend Franklin Graham has been a great asset to the state. Talk a little bit about the way the Samaritan Purse has helped North Carolina.
Yes, once again, the first.
Reverend Franklin Graham has been a big part of Samaritan Purse and their aid to North Carolina. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Franklin Graham has been a big asset to the state. His father was a big asset to the state, to the country, both of them. I just think this. I think Franklin and other people that are doing what Franklin have done. But I've known Franklin so long. He was at the inauguration. He made a speech, beautiful prayer. He does a great job. And we made a big donation, and it was money well spent. Sometimes you make donations, it's not well spent. He's done a great job here. He's done a really great job. So I want to thank you. We're going to the site now, and one of the sites, and I think for those that haven't seen it, you won't even believe it, but not enough work was done. We'll get it done fast. And I can speak for the Republican congressman. We're going to knock it out, right? We're going to knock it out. And I think we take it very personally, because North Carolina was very unfairly treated. Very, very unfairly treated. And it was obvious. It was too obvious. And we're going to make up for lost time. So thank you to the people of North Carolina. Thank you, everybody.
He's gonna chuck some towels at them.